I'm knee deep in Porsches. Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, and welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're at the historic French Lick Resort in southern Indiana for the 60th annual Porsche Parade. Man, I love this place, and it's full of Porsches. This is going to be a blast. Let's check these babies out. A 912, not a 911, a 912. Fu, how you doing, man?
Hi, Dennis. Welcome to Porsche Parade.
Man, this is happening here. And what a cool place, the French Lick Resort.
It is. It's a very cool place.
You know, this is southern Indiana. All roads do not lead here. But you drew a huge number of members for this.
We did. In fact, we drew about 2,000 of our closest friends and family.
Just for a little gathering.
Just for a little gathering.
Very nice, very nice. So how many cars are here for this?
Probably about 850 to 900 Porsches on property.
That's a lot of Porsches in one place.
To put that into perspective, we have more PCA members here than there are in the population of
French Lick, Indiana. Of course.
So they knew we were coming.
Well, what a cool choice of venues, because this is a really historic hotel. I mean, dating back to the 20s. It's just, been, renovated in grand fashion. So this is pretty cool.
It is. You know, we typically go to areas where we look for beautiful roads, of course, for our cars to exercise the engines, but we also like to choose a property when you walk in that is also awe-inspiring, much like the Porsches when you walk into this resort. Man, it's beautiful. People love it.
Well, and actually, you picked an area that's got some killer roads. Southern Indiana is spectacular driving.
I didn't know that, though.
It's true, and I'm a motorcyclist, too. So, I mean, it's a great riding area, too, but it's a great destination. And I would imagine for the parades, you always try and do this destination thing.
We do. We change it up. It's different every year, and, we try to take folks to where they may not have thought about being a destination for them, and then we surprise them about how beautiful it is when they get there. Yeah.
So, of course, like say 800, 900 Porsches here. You've got the Concours going on, a Judge Concours, but you've got this other thing, the 60 years of...
60 for 60.
60 for 60.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So what it all started out with is this year, we're celebrating PCA's 60th anniversary. For each of those years, we have a car represented for those years.
So there are 60 Porsches representing 60 different years.
Yes, 55 up to today.
That alone.
It's amazing. You have to check it out. You have to check it out.
Let's go check it out.
That.
Come on, man. Well, Bob, we're here with the 60 years of Porsche, 60 different Porsches with every year. There's some great stuff here, but I gotta tell you, I was going by and, kind of looking this way, looking that way, and I did an absolute double take on this car. This is a really interesting car. It's a 1960 Porsche Abarth?
1961 Porsche Abarth Carrera GTL. It's all aluminum, designed by Zagato.
Well, it looks like a Zagato body. When I saw it, it's clearly Porsche, but not, you know?
Right.
And I thought it was Zagato, but I looked for the top, the double bubble.
That's the one element is missing. This particular car, which is number 9 of 20, was originally owned by a count in Sweden who was a very good racing driver. He entered it in 11 races, won all 11. They kept protesting him, so he got tired of having to take the car apart, and as a result, the car was never wrecked.
Wow.
And
so this is raced and won 11 times and never been crushed.
Never been crushed.
Well, I guess he proved what he needed to prove.
He did. He did. Yes, he did.
So
Yeah.
they were built to win.
Yes, they were.
So where were they made?
The chassis, the drivetrain, and the engine were all made in Germany, in Stuttgart, in Zuffenhausen. The bodies were assembled in Turin, in Italy.
Oh, okay.
So in a sense, it's the first and only Porsche that was ever really completed outside of Germany.
That's amazing. So what's the chassis and drivetrain?
It's a B. It's a 356B.
Okay. And the nose is obviously extended. I mean,
Extended.
she's longer, but the wheelbase is the same. And then inside it's really pretty much all business, right?
It is. These are Speedster fiberglass seats.
Yeah.
Again, for weight savings. This is the original interior from 1961.
Not restored?
Not restored.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it was, I was walking over there and it was actually the rear end that I saw first. And I said, what is that?
It's a lot of louvers.
It's a lot of
louvers. You gotta
louvers.
love louvers.
I love them too. and again, all for cooling and everything. But this whole back seems bigger too.
It is, and it is to accommodate the 4-cam engine in the setting in which they put it in. And here you see the 4-cam engine.
Oh my goodness.
And you can feel the lightweight.
Yeah,
it weighs very little.
So what does it put out roughly, do you know?
160, 160.
For a very light car?
For a very light car. These were very quick for their day.
Man, I mean, this car is a showstopper. Bob,
thank you, Dennis.
1961 Porsche Abarth.
Abarth.
Magnificent.
Dennis, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, Harry, this was one of the 60 for 60 or whatever that was called. This is a 56 356. But man, I saw this thing, and of course I'm a sucker for green cars, and I loved it. I think it's a beautiful example of a 356 in radium green, right?
That's the name of the color. The color was available in I think 1954, so it's really not an accurate color for this particular year, but I saw it at a show.
Yeah. And you liked it.
What I liked.
Well, plus, that is not the only liberty you've taken with this car.
That's correct.
I mean, it looks like, bone stock 56 Carrera, but you've done all sorts of stuff. And I love the interior. Would that be a like 56-ish pattern or not?
Well, no, not really. I hunted around, found some material at a fabric store, which is something I like to do.
And then how about is that AC?
Yes.
I mean, it didn't come with AC.
No. It actually, I went to a junkyard and started buying small components and anything that I could fit in there and put it in, and it works good.
Man, and the taillights, the pair,
the taillights are accurate, and the car looks exactly stock from the back, but it has 911 rear suspension as well, and the car was widened out. It's 2 inches wider, and the metal was added on each side, just inside the taillights. So typically these cars taper in the back where it just goes straight back.
Well, now this is a 356, great car. Little 4-cylinder engine originally.
Right.
They really weren't that fast in 56.
No.
But you put a 911 engine in this thing. Can you open that up?
Yep.
Wow. And it fits. How tight a fit was that?
Some of the interior sheet metal in the back had to be altered.
So it's badged Carrera, but it's just a stock.
Yeah, it started life as just a straight 4-cylinder
Does that
car.
badge make it go faster?
Probably sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
It increases the horsepower impression ratio.
So what you've got here basically is you've got a 56 356 that's been really stealthily hot rodded.
Yep. And I built the car to drive it, and I'm quite proud of the fact that it has 53,000 miles on it since it's been finished.
No kidding. This is beautiful. 56 356 hot rod.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Ron, this is a beautiful little Porsche, and actually another historically significant Porsche.
Yes, it won the first overall victory for the Porsche nameplate.
So this is a 1952 America Roadster,
yes.
Right? This was actually built to win a particular race.
Yes, the race at Bryn Van Tinden, Pennsylvania, along with the Giants Despair Hill Climb, which is a real old event, was being reduced to only a 2-liter car because of the speeds of the big 4.5-liter Ferraris or the Cunninghams and so on. So Porsche knew about that, and what they decided to do was see if they could build a car that they would win overall.
Let's see if we could win that one.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So this is basically a 356 underpinning?
Yeah, they used a regular 356 Porsche chassis on it, the Cabriolet chassis for the convertible car, and then built the body, very thin aluminum, same thickness as the steel body, and that was their first attempt at building a purpose-built race car, not one that they converted.
So that's really what this was. Did they make more of these?
They made a total of 16 with the aluminum body, and then one with a steel body that was like a cut-down Cabriolet that eventually morphed into the Speedster.
Oh man! And then the interior, dark green. It just looks awesome. It's obviously been redone, yes?
No, those seats are original, and the upholstery on them is original, and the door panels are original.
Since 52?
Since 52.
And it's been raced?
They were out, some of it was out of the car. They stripped this car to as light as they could, took the paint off even.
And so what's the engine in this?
The engine is a 1500 Super, and it's the first one that was put in a production car.
So so what made it a Super?
Well, they raised the compression. They put a much hotter, higher lift higher RPM cam in
So
it,
does it idle
bigger
kind of,
carburetor.
is it kind of lumpy? When
Yeah, it's just like a race car back then, yeah.
Wow. Oh man, Ron, this is just amazing. 1952 America Roadster.
Yep.
Built to win a particular race.
Great piece of Porsche history.
And it won. Thanks for bringing it out, man. Terry, a red 67 911S. This might be almost one of the quintessential Porsches. Would you say?
I agree.
I agree. Because it's yours, you would totally agree.
But it doesn't get any better.
No, it really doesn't. So, and you've had this a while, eh?
I've had this 40 years.
That's a while.
40 years.
That's a while.
But what you see today is what was on the car. So it was a complete car, but it was a 3-year restoration. We started in 1980. It was finished in 82.
Man.
And this paint is 33 years old.
Was she always red?
It was always red.
was always red,
This
right.
is absolutely original color.
This is really, really an original car. The interior is so great in this. I love how the dash, you know, it's sort of this wraps around and it's a driver's car.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it draws you in there. And that whole basket weave pattern there on below the dash, and that was what was there, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This interior is 100% original.
So you have not restored the interior? This is the original interior?
This is the original interior.
Man,
every piece in
is
here
this
is
vinyl
original.
or is it leather?
It's vinyl.
It's vinyl, but
Yeah.
man, it held up well.
These early cars, they were built like concrete.
Oh, she's in great shape.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
I mean, it's basically the inside you just cleaned up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, did you have to re-chrome it?
I did re-chrome it,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
chrome was just done recently.
So it's a 911S.
S.
Now, Porsche at that time there was still the 912, right?
Right.
Which was really a 911 body with a 356 engine.
4-cylinder engine.
Right.
Correct.
But were they trying to kind of stratify the market?
They wanted 3 levels of cars. They wanted an entry-level car,
Which would be the 912.
the 912. Then they wanted a mid-term car, mid-range car, the 911 normal. 67, they introduced the 911S.
Oh, is this the first year for the S?
This is the first year of the S.
So what makes it an S?
Well, the engine is totally different.
Really?
Bigger valves, bigger ports, wilder cams, bigger carburetors. This has got Weber carburetors, 6 Weber carburetors.
So this is the one to have.
This has become the holy grail of early 911s, the 67S.
Was the red block stock?
The red indicated an S motor.
Oh, okay. Huh.
The T or the normal had, I believe it was black or green. I can't remember. And then, of course, the 912 was
And are those 4
entirely
Webers there?
different. It's actually 2 Webers, but each one of them is a 3-barrel, and
Wow.
they're downdraft, so it's like 6 individual carburetors built into 2 units.
So what kind of horsepower does this put out?
160 horse,
And roughly what does she weigh?
2,200 pounds, something like
So
that.
this has got to be a blast.
This car goes 7,200 RPM redline.
Wow. So 1967 911S that you've had for 40 years.
40 years.
You are my hero.
Thank you. Thank you
Beautiful
very
car,
much.
Terry. Man, that is sweet. Well, Jeff, this is such a weird car. I couldn't pass it up. I mean, it's so weird. This is a 92?
That's correct.
92 968.
Correct.
This has got to be one of the craziest colors they ever put on a Porsche. And this is a factory color, right?
It is. Mint green
Mint
was the
green.
color. That's
I
right.
never would have guessed.
This car is the only
Only one.
cabriolet produced in this color. And they wanted something that was vibrant and noticing.
So what did this baby go for in 92?
Well, the actual coupe started at $39,950 because they wanted to be below $40,000. But they blossomed very quickly with options. And like I said, this car stickered over $60,000 by that time it was done.
In 92.
In
I mean,
92.
that was one expensive car.
Yep. But Porsche was actually just starting to get into exclusivity options. So this car has an extremely rare leather interior. It's stitched.
That's actual stitching.
Standard was, well, you could get partial leather, which just got you leather on the top here for
Yeah.
$692. But if you wanted this leather option, $4,190.
Ow. And was this was one of the colors, was this an upcharge or was
No,
just
it was
standard?
not. It was standard. It was a solid color. Even today, solids are typically the standard color. This was one of them, but you can understand nobody was brave enough to check that.
So, okay, so let's go up front, which you don't usually do with a Porsche. Let's go up front and look at the
Sure
engine.
thing. There you go.
Wow, so
So you can see Porsche was very much into engine presentation back then.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This car actually has some extra pieces here to cover some of the plumbing. And look, we have our,
place for
our
your gloves
and our rag,
Nice.
never to be used, but only to be looked at. And
well, and you can actually see the engine, which
that's
is
right.
nice. It's
And
not all
work
covered
on
up.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And work on
and
oil
it's
filters right there.
I mean, it's basically a slant 4.
Right.
She's slant mounted.
Big 4, 3 liter, 236 horsepower, 225 pounds of torque.
This is wild. It is a minty green 1992 Porsche 968.
Correct.
Right? Wow. With an engine up front.
That's right.
What a concept. Oh man, the Porsche Parade at the French Lick Resort was amazing. And I gotta tell you, French Lick and West Baden, if you're looking for a destination, whether it's a car show or not, this is the place to be.